What's good? What's good? I'm back. One and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P. Shouts out to everybody tuned in right now on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Matthew Meisters, appreciate you. Defiant Bryant, appreciate you. Fight week this week. You got BKC. What is it? Fight night. Hammond. A lot of events still left to come for this year. Yeah, you got BKFC Fight Night Hammond, Van Camp versus Cisneros. Still got BKFC Liberty Brawl, BKFC 91 Naples, Italy, not Naples, Florida, unfortunately. BKFC Fight Night Newcastle, BKFC Fight Night Uruguay, uh, BKFC Fight Night Sturgis, another Mohegan Sun Fight Night. You got Boston now, BKFC Boston, not BKFC 92 Boston, Stewart versus Gigliotti, and BKFC Fight Night Clearwater. Seems like Clearwater, Mohegan Sun are definitely some of the steady go-tos. And Sturgis every year, of course. Philly. Definitely try to milk Philly as much as they can. I don't blame them. Philly's got some nice size arenas. Definitely. You got the Atkinson versus Mike Jones. That's at Sturgis. I'm excited to see Brian Atkinson back. He's still undefeated doing his thing. So should be having a guest here soon. I know they're at the gym, and there she goes right now. So let's introduce her properly. Actually, the first interview that I was ever involved with for Bare Knuckle was our guest, and she's one of the most accomplished female fighters in Bare Knuckle history. She's the inaugural and the current BKFC Women's Strawweight Champion, and she will be fighting at Liberty Brawl July 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Time at Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania versus Dr. Sarah Shell. Let's bring on the beautiful Britton Hart.
Hey, what's up,
Britton,
guys?
how was your training today?
It was really good. All the guys were in there today. Sometimes we get different cliques, different crews in the gym, but the OG BKFC clique was in there today. So Jeremy Smith, Bryce,
Okay.
Chino, Fames. It was a fun time. I love being around those guys and their energy. We really work so well together, and that we're not shy. We'll stop each other and be like, hey, this you need to work on, or try it like this. And they're just really good about feeding that energy. I love being around each and every one of them.
So I want to see if we can get through a few questions about your career before we get into the doc fight. Um, you're an ex boxer. What first attracted you to bare knuckle fighting?
So to be in bare knuckle boxing, I was in pro boxing at the time, and I was just like this broken, lost, really lost soul that was full of hatred and trying to like fight my way back out of this nightmare of a life. And no one was really giving me a chance because I didn't know the politics. I didn't know the business of boxing, but I wanted to be the best. And so I was trying really hard. And that's when Bare Knuckle came, and they were like, look, we're going to give you this main event. This is going to be the eyes on you. We're not trying to embarrass you on TV. We think that this is a whole new sport and a new platform that you will be really good at. And so, boom, first bare knuckle fight was the main event against a UFC person, Beck Rawlings, and it was a split decision. I mean, it was an epic, iconic fight. But at the time, I really just wanted to be known and seen because I really think I'm a great boxer. Like, I believe that I was a great boxer. I was just not
Mm-hmm.
having the bells and whistles and the money around me. And so if I didn't have that, I was going to find one way or another to get noticed.
Well, you had two of the toughest opponents you possibly could probably have in the sport, Beck Rollins and Christine Faria. Unfortunately, they were losses, but like, what still made you keep going? Like, why did you still say, "Hey, I still want to do this bare knuckle"?
Yeah, those were with the Beck Rollins one, I really was like amped up by that. Like there were so many things on what went wrong and so many people in my ear. If you had a real team, at the time I was training at the YMCA for that fight. So with the
Oh
Christine
shit.
Pereira fight, yeah, like I didn't have a boxing coach or a boxing gym. I wasn't sparring people. I was just hitting a heavy
Yeah.
bag at YMCA. So I already was doing that
Okay.
good. Just imagine if I had like some actual formal training and like a real team behind me. And then with the Christine, that one was kind of like what it was. I realized that I didn't really have the support that I was promised, and, not making excuses or anything like that. I just knew all the pieces were not there. Like I knew it wasn't
Okay.
me, that wasn't showing people who Britton Hart really was, and that I needed to go on this wild journey and quest to show people. I still wanted to be the best. So those two losses to me were nothing but a lesson learned and realizing I wasn't exactly where I needed to be, but it was for a reason. Like it was a magnet. Like I still needed to be there, you know?
Well, then you get this next one, Paige Van Zant, who's pretty well known. Um, did that fight like change your career, and like what was going through your head after you won that fight?
It definitely did. It absolutely gave me the platform I needed to. I think afterwards it was a crazy crash that a lot of people don't speak and talk about. So it was more like it changed my world on the build up. And then after the fight, it was kind of
Uh-huh.
like, I think people were still kind of like not giving me what I was promised and what I was earned. It was like, oh, she was lucky, this and that. That girl's not that good. Like, whatever reason that anyone could come up with why I won. And so that was a challenging, like, painful moment to go through. Like, man, like, what
Okay.
else can I do type of thing. But it still was evolutionary to my life and my career because it was proof to me that I could do it. It was proof to like all those underdog B-side stories that, we weren't meant to be there, and that's not who we were meant to be. You can change it and you
Hmm.
can fight back against the system. And so that's was ultimately what changed my life into this trajectory on I can do this my way. Ultimately, I don't have to be like everyone else and be systematically placed in a box on a recipe to success. And so yeah, it was a fun moment though. It definitely was, but it was also a very painful and very dark moment that not a lot of people would realize.
Well, then you had the rematch with Beck. You won. How fulfilling was that? The redemption. I mean, and it's your debut rematch.
Again, not to be a Debbie Downer on like darkness, but that fight was it was extremely dark. I was going through, I had just lost this baby. I was testing
Oh
positive for
man.
pregnancy 2 weeks before that fight. Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that. I tested like I literally had to take like an abortion pill to expel this baby that was a stillborn inside me. Like it was horrible. It was painful. It was mentally shattering. But I showed up and I just needed it to like not think about real life again, such a nightmare of a situation and reality. But when I did win, it was such a bizarre moment to where all this sad darkness, like it kind of did change my life there too because it gave me something to really pull me out. Like, here we are. Like, I wasn't really thinking I was going to win. I was just focused on so many
Okay.
other things. And Britton Hart, you guys all know that. Like, I come to win, I come to play. Like, hell no. But in that particular fight, it was only the one that I felt like I was like pressured on a big scale and I wasn't ready to take it. And then when I did and won, it was another like, oh my God, aha moment. I can really do anything. Like, I can make it through whatever horrible challenge is thrown at me. And that was extremely motivating in quite the opposite way that the Paige Van Sant fight worked out for me.
Well, then you have first ever BKFC Strawweight championship fight versus Carissa Segala. I guess that's how I pronounce it. I mean, what's it mean to you
Trisha,
that
yeah.
you're always gonna go down as the first BKFC Strawweight? That's like marked in history.
Yeah, that means a lot. That really means a lot. I've always wanted to be great. I didn't think it would be fighting much like alone bare knuckle boxing, but I knew that I was going to be somebody great in sports. I have such a passion for all sports. Like, I think it's such a great place to be for anyone watching. Like, find one sport, whatever sport it is, and just attach yourself to it because it's such a great thing. And for me, to know that I wanted to be somebody so great in boxing, like undeniable, it really doesn't get any better than being the inaugural strawweight champion and undisputed and just having such a streak in that. But to be the first is something, nothing, no one will ever be able to take that away. And you can't put a price on that.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing. People always have to recognize the first to do something.
Right.
So, let's get into this Doc fight. So you about to defend the belt versus Doc Sarah Shell. What can fans expect from you in this upcoming title defense?
I think fans are going to get what they really want and what they've been waiting for, which is something I've been preaching in my whole career. Like, we want to see real fighters, and it doesn't have to be like, as like there's no secret recipe to a real fighter. But for me, it's somebody who earned it, went out there and showed that they were like battle tested. That's a real fighter, not someone who just talks and says they did this and that or what they will be. Like someone who actually has been about it. And so for me, dealing with Sarah Shell, I feel like it started off like really like sportsmanship like and really respectful
Mm.
and like let's challenge ourselves. She's the ranked number one. I'm the champ, undisputed. She has a doctorate degree. I have a master's degree. Cute battle of the nerds. We're two successful, highly educated women. Like, that's cool. But then she wanted to
Yeah,
be all dramatic and extra with this shove. And I know, like, that brings some spice into it. But some of the things that have been said lately, I'm just not okay with. And the fact, like, where do you, like, who do you think you are? And for me, it feels like this whole Pandora box of like me just talking about this Paige and Beck fight. Like, put some respect on my name. Like, I've done some hard shit. And for you to sit there and make fun of me and clown me online and think that that's going to work, like, it brings me back to those days where I think BKFC just made a post like, my hands are dangerous but my mouth is worse. Like, people used to recall me being like this, mouthy, like chip on the shoulder girl, and it was for a reason. I was being super disrespected back then. And then I feel like, I got my respect and it was really cool, and everyone was very complimentary of like, well, Britain's more professional. She's got this more classy, edge to her, which really is something that I do like, and I have that side of me. But
yeah,
it's kind of like fuck around and find out, like disrespect me, and I still have that dog and that street grit in me too. And so now that I think that I've been benched for a year by being classy and professional and, just being like, hey, let's go, women empowerment. I'm here for all women, which that is the truth. But I'm really honing in on this moment, like naturally, that it's stirring the pot. Like, she'll say something and poke me, which is cool, and I'll retaliate. And then people are like, oh, Britain's this
yeah,
and that. And that really fucking pisses me off. It really does. So it's like, for me, like, Dr. Sarah Shell, like, man, your fans and whoever's on your side, you're gonna have to go and fucking have a conversation with them after, because they're getting you ass whooping of a lifetime. Like, every comment and thing they say and make, I you I'm just using it as fuel on your girl. Like every time I punch her, I'm going to think of somebody's particular name on some dumb shit they said, and then on something that she said. And it's just this vicious cycle that's making me like just feel extra motivated and kind of like in a dark place, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Like my old coach, Johnny Thunder, used to say, you got to control the chaos. And I think that people have seen a very technician controlled version of me. And I think people have seen a very
Uh-huh.
chaotic, reckless version of me. And the fans are going to see controlled chaos for sure.
Well, why do you think it is? Because I've noticed this when the women's fights get personal, they seem to get way more personal than the guys. Why is that?
I think it goes into that whole bigger picture that us as a whole, which is why I say like I definitely am for women empowerment, but you got to do the job. Like you can't just go in there and be like, oh, I'm a woman, they don't treat me right, they don't treat me like the men. But if we're doing what the men are doing, then okay, like you need to treat us the same as equals. If we're not doing our part, then I get it, but if we're doing our part, you guys better step up. And so I think with women in boxing and sports and combat sports in general, we all have this like stereotype that we want to be equal. Like we want to be like the men and the male counterparts. If we have a good fight, great. Pay us the same as you would a male fight. If we're going to be the main event, awesome, cool. We earned it. Pay us what you pay the main events. And because we're not quite there yet, it's like I feel like we
Mhm.
have this extra edge to just go in there and have the fight of a lifetime every fight. Like I know a lot of us are like that. Definitely me, but I know other women that, we're always going in there like this is our life. Like it depends on this fight. We're not just going in and treating it like, oh, we win, we lose, we lose. Like, no, our life depends on it, our legacy and what happens next. If a male has a bad fight, it's like, oh, something happened at home, there was this, it was a bad weight cut, poor guy, get back on there. If a woman loses, it's like, oh, it's just so much different that I think that we have this pressure to just perform. God forbid we have and that's the thing. I think we
Mhm.
jinxed and cursed ourselves because women have such fire fights. We're so great and amazing in our fights that God forbid we were more technicians and we take a break. Everyone's like, "Oh, that was a shit fight." We was like, "No, we were really giving you bangers and barn burners that you got used to that version. That if we have a more skilled fight, you guys are like just not happy with it anymore." But I do think we always have this like just that feminine drive to be like, oh, we'll show you. And when it goes against each other, men have it too. Like everyone's like, oh man, these girls are catty and what a bitch move. But God, there's so many men that are dramatic and drama queens too. So I don't really think it's really a case of like
Yeah.
male versus
Yeah.
female. Like, yo, we're just all trying to be fighters. We're, if it's personal, it's personal. If it's business, it's business. Whatever. To me, it's always personal, and to some people, it's always business. But we're all under this umbrella together, and that's what makes it so exciting and unpredictable. Because if everyone was the same, it would be boring.
So I was watching the doc today, and I was watching you. Both of y'all seem like y'all like to be the aggressor. The doc likes to be aggressive with the jab. You like to be aggressive as well. Do you expect this fight to turn into an all-out war?
I think everybody thinks that, and I really just I don't know. I don't see it going that way, to be honest. I really don't. And for a few reasons, but I'm definitely ready for anything and I'm always ready for a war, but I just don't see her active in the clinch. She always tries to tie up. I really haven't watched her throw
Okay,
one
yeah,
punch in the
yeah,
clinch. So, I mean, when we're
I
thinking
agree.
wars and BKFC, it's usually clinch work. Now, if I just jab the living daylight out of her face and her body, then yeah, it's cool. But I'm looking at that as being like a boxing clinic. I see it more so going like that in this fight, but it's definitely going to be bloody and brutal, and I'm definitely going for the knockout. And I think she has this, picture in her world where she's just this crazy knockout artist, which, again, I don't see where that's coming from, but she's thinking that she has this power that she's going to knock me out. So I'm sure that she's going to be timing this one mega punch. I don't see it being combinations or flurries. I think she's going to try to sit there, and it's going to be, alarming for her. I don't think she's really going to be used to what I really bring in the ring.
Do you think a lot of the opponents, like when they have to face the champ, they get in there? Because I think I see this a lot of times. It's like the lights get too bright for a lot of opponents. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. And I've seen it a lot more so in men, and I know a lot of them too that,
Yeah,
dang,
yeah,
in the gym
yeah.
they're like superstars, but then when they go out in the lights, it's like they kind of freeze up, which, it is hard. It's different, but gosh, we train for that and get ready for that. I just always remind myself, like, this is what we wanted and asked for. But for me, I don't think I've ever had an opponent necessarily do that to me. I've seen it before, but as far as in the ring with me, like,
Hmm.
it's, maybe, selfishly it would be nice, but it's the reverse. Like, anytime someone stepped up against me, it's like, damn, they're like, I have a weird way of bringing the best out of everyone, which is cool, but then it gives me like this false illusion to, or not to me, but to the fans, that, oh, well, Britain doesn't have power. Her fights always go the distance. And then as soon as that chick fights, her very next fight, she quits in the first round because she's, PTSD from them doing the 5 rounds with me. And then everyone's like, oh, wow, well, this girl got, this chick out of here in 1 round, and it took Britain 5. But damn, look, guys, go look back at the pictures, go look at the proof, go look at the film. These girls are in bloody wars. Like, they look like they're dying. Like, they look like a bear attacked them. And these other fights, when they're out of there and quitting after 1 or 2 rounds, they don't even have a mark on them. Like, they literally don't even have a black eye. And I'm sitting there just like, oh my God, this girl quits and doesn't have a black eye on her. And then meanwhile, when they fight me, they're all swollen, cut up, look like a freaking car accident. And they're just like, I'm in it to win it. I got this. So I've had that experience that everyone, they definitely step up to give me a challenge. So I'm not taking that lightly and thinking that it will be anything different from Sarah Shell. But I am trying to trust my gut and instincts more on this. But I'm ready for anything. That's for sure.
And don't forget, you got T flying out too over there with Melanie
Yeah.
Shaw.
I mean, geez, still in there. I still got this. And then what? She's a prime example. The very next fight, she quits on the stool with not even a mark on her. Like, it's cool though. I kind of, I take it for what it is, that everyone thinks, and that's cool. They can think that I'm not the greatest and best, and that they have a chance at beating me. It's a totally different story when you get in there with me, and one day they'll really all know, huh?
Do you think being a champ in BKC is like a gift and a curse? Because it's like when y'all champs, it's like y'all get maybe one fight a year if you're lucky, or a year and 4 months out.
1,000%, 1,000%. But I'm not, I can complain about it, but I am trying to look at it through the lens that there's so many people that I see that would just die and are dreaming to have one belt, and I have 5 of them. And so I try to be understanding on how cool that is and how I wanted it so bad. And so that's just what keeps me through it. But it is tough going from fighting 5 times a year to 1 time a year. But it is one of those things if you're a fighter and in and out of the ring, like it's an opportunity to do something that I've never gotten to do with my life. And I'm very grateful for that. I really am, because I had to work, I had a job when I was 16. After high school, I would go after my soccer practice Saturday and Sunday. I worked 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. as a teenager just to drive and pay my car insurance. I
Damn.
paid for myself through college. I worked every day of my life, 3 or 4 jobs. I was putting in like 9 W-2s. And not because I was jumping from job to job. Like, I've never burned any bridges with any of my jobs or employers. They all still support me, and we're still friendly. It wasn't that way, but I had to. Like, I was working and hustling to do all the things that I had to do. I have 2 kids. I was a single mom at the time, and I wanted to fix this, horrible life decision that I made. And then when I found the love of boxing, I just desperately wanted to make it improve myself. That it took all my money and time. That I feel like I'm really getting, what would be my fourth and fifth chance at life now, where I can really, like, wow, is this what it feels like to wake up and not clock in and go to work and be somewhere? Like, oh, is this what it feels like to just be able to go with my friend and help get ready for her fight over in England? Like, that is such a beautiful place to be. And I might not have had that if I was fighting 4 or 5 times a year, constantly being stressed out in fight camp. And as fighters, we're struggling to make pennies, really. We get our purse and it sounds
Yeah.
cool, but fight camps are expensive. And then we're paying our managers, we're paying our coaches, we're paying the taxes, we're paying everything to keep afloat. Like, finally, for the first time in my life, like, I can breathe and wake up and be like, what do I want to set my ambitions and goals to? And what new dream do I want to chase? And what are friends that I owe a thank you or some quality time with? Family that I haven't talked to in 8, 10 years. I finally have, like,
Yeah.
in 2025, I've rebuilt those bridges because they were burned for a long time. And now those bridges are mended. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was, you know, again, stuck. So I'm seeing it for, again, a dark thing, but it's beautiful silver lining and what it's really done for my life.
Well, I'm glad to see you back. Can't wait to see this fight. I think it's gonna be a good one. I think this might be maybe your toughest opponent since Beck and Christine. We'll see. But I'm just hoping for a good fight. I just want to see a good fight. And I'm definitely be wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you. And yeah, it definitely lights a fire under me, because it's like, man, I hear that so many times. Like, you see a lot of times where the champs and people kind of get these people and they get to pick who they want, they pick their opponent. But it's like, man, it's like my story still stays strong. I never fought easy fights. And every fight, when I fought Ty Emery, everybody was telling me that, oh, she's going to be your hardest, toughest fight. She's the toughest person you're going to fight. And now it's like, here it is yet again. Dr. Sarah Shell is going to be the toughest, strongest person I've ever fought. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to bring some action to you guys July 3rd. So
yeah.
excited to show you guys that I was worth the wait, and that you guys definitely want to keep me around and stay tuned, and that I'm never done growing or evolving. So I'm excited. It's going to be the best yet. We always say that, but it really truly is. So let's keep going higher and bring it one step hotter.
I appreciate you taking time out. I know you got a busy schedule. I don't know if you remember, but like there was a little podcast for a short period of time called Circle of Kings. I actually used to produce and record and promote that. Me and the host kind of had a falling out, went our separate ways, but you were the first interview on that podcast. So
Yes, see, there's a thing.
yeah.
Here's this history. First on the podcast, first
First,
for the
yeah, yeah.
Strawweight. I'm loving it. I'm about it.
Yep. Any shout outs you want to do before you go? I don't know if you have any sponsors you want to shout out.
Yeah, I definitely do. I just thank you to everyone who does support me, Britain Army. If you know, you know. It's such an important thing. But I went to relax and get results today. They have been super important part in my recovery for this fight. I'm Team Carnivore Muscle Meds. We've been riding strong, which, man, I can't thank them enough really for this transformation in muscle and aminos, and just again recovering from proper nutrition. And then I have Vendetta, which is out in Ohio, Chemical Solutions, and they're a special addition to the team. Drink Drops, which is super exciting. They're actually buying tickets and coming in from Canada to my fight.
Oh
So
shit.
if you guys are coming to Philly, check them out because they're going to have
Damn.
some free samples. I'll have some free samples, but they're a super cool product that you put in your alcohol to take away that bitter flavor. So, we stay dangerous and ready. HKA, they're gonna be making sure my trunks are fire. So my outfit is gonna be the best outfit that I've ever had. I just used their gloves today in the gym, so I got these fresh new gloves because the other ones I was hitting so hard I freaking blew through them. Um, and gosh, I feel like, oh, CMOS Organics, again, game changer. If you guys watch the podcast, you guys get a cool little secret because I don't tell too many people, but CMOS is a game changer in just life in general. So I love that CMOS Organics has been part of the team for this camp. And yeah, I think that's everybody as far as my official sponsors. There's a lot of other people behind the scenes that have made me who I am. And, again, I can't thank you enough for that. It takes a village to raise this warrior. And I can finally say I have the support that I've always dreamed of.
Well, champ, thanks again, and I hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you. It's awesome. Let's go. We're like in the final day. I think, what, 9-day countdown?
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Single digits. Let's go.
All right, you take it easy.
All right. Take it easy. See you next time.
All right, bye. Well, there you have it. BKFC Strawweight champion herself, Britain Hart, will be fighting Sarah Shell. And I think she's right 9 days away. You got BKFC Fight Night Hammond, which is June 26th, 2 days away. And July 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, BKFC Liberty Brawl, Xfinity Mobile Arena. I think this is a really good card right here. You got Austin, no doubt Trout versus Ben the Bomber Bonner. You got Britain Hart, Sarah Shell, championship bout co-main event. You got Johnny Canoli Garbarino versus Mike the Marine Richmond. You got Cody Russell and Jake Boswick. That looked like that could be a banger. You got Matthew Turnbull versus Pat Sullivan. Turnbull's making his debut. You got Nicholas Wiley versus Eric Westbury. Eric looking to get his first win. Lex Ludlow versus Drew Nolan. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's an easy win for Lex. That's a give me win right there. He might as well put 4-0 on his record right now. You got Milan Griffin versus Billy Graves. Anthony Pagan versus Zach Pinnell. Zach need to definitely get in the win column. He's 1-5 right now. A win at this fight would definitely be a really good confidence booster. And I think they might have some more fights added. Let me see. Adding soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. There's 10 fights. They might add 2 more. But that's going to be a good card as well. And you got BKFC 91 Naples, Lorenzo Hunt going over there to fight Walter Puglisi for the I think that's for the iron weight championship belt. So if Lorenzo wins this, to be the first three weight class champion. He's the only American on this card. A lot of Italians and international cats. You got Danny Christie, of course, from the UK. You got Dan Chapman, I think, is on this card as well. Andre Beachy. He's from Italy. I forgot who he fought. And one of them Italy cards, he had to replace somebody that had to back out. I think it was Tanagli that had to back out of the fight or something, and he replaced him. But oh, and you got Jimmy Sweeney on his card. Jimmy Sweeney's like the bare knuckle OG, dude, 29-6. Like you look at everybody's BKFC fight records. I mean, damn, Lorenzo Hunt's 13-2, but Jimmy Sweeney's 29-6. Yo, it's crazy. That's a lot of bare knuckle fights. All right, man. Shouts out to Britton Hart taking the time out. Let's check some of the comments. My man, Wanting Habits, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Britton is so fine. Wild Boy 339. Yeah, the beautiful Britton Hart. That's why I call her. There's a lot of beautiful women in bare knuckle. Jade Masan Wong, Taylor Starlin, Jessica Borga, Christine Vicens. There's this other Maricel something. I forgot her last name. Beautiful as hell. A lot of beautiful women in bare knuckle. Let's see who tuned in. Ashley James 262, appreciate you. Hammer 170, appreciate you. Yuka Brasi instead of Luca Brasi. Bronco Busick, appreciate you. He got a fight coming up soon. Mike Jones, appreciate you. Who? Mike Jones. Julian Fernandez, appreciate you. Dumbest Guy Podcast, appreciate you. Mel Matchmaker, appreciate you as well. We about to get off here and clip up some clips. Go check out an interview yesterday I did with Crafton Wallace. Me and Wanting Habits interview Crafton Wallace. He got a gym out there in Naples, Florida, Inferno MMA, and he fought in UFC and Strike Force and other fight promotions as well. You know, I've had MMA guys on here before. I've had boxers on here before, even though my bread and butter is bare knuckle because I love me some bare knuckle. Not a bare knuckle fighter. I'm a bare knuckle lover. All right, man. Let me get out of here, man. Appreciate y'all, man. And interview tomorrow live from Vietnam. Apani B Fly. Still waiting on her to reply, but I gotta check the Instagram, see if she replied. But that should be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got music reviews live from Vietnam Saturday as well. Might do some Friday too. We'll see. All right, man. About to wrap it up. Peace, and I'm out.